And we are back. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth, or in this case, my unpopular opinion. Joining me as always is my girl, Mrs. Best. Say what's up to her, y'all.
Hi, I'm excited for this one.
Yes, we are all excited. Not so much that this is an exciting topic because it is not, but it is something that I can come across to kind of share my unpopular opinion because it's a crazy topic. So if you have not read the title, unpopular opinion number 13, Diddy caught on camera. Hashtag Diddy, hashtag Cassie. So I know what y'all all thinking. It was everywhere this morning. Every single last thing was there this morning. I just said, wow. So before we begin, I just want to do a little disclaimer because the things we're going to see are very deep and it is very rough and it's very hard to watch, especially because we all know someone who has gone through a DV situation. So I want to open up the floor to say if you or someone you know is suffering from DV, please contact the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. We need to stop. We need to put an end to this. At the end of the day, we need to put an end to this. People need to learn how to come into relationships whole and fulfilled already, and not come into it hurt and badgered and bruised from wherever they left off and where you came and got them. So we need to put an end to this because this is speaking way more than celebrities. This is speaking to regular people too. So do your people that favor. If you know someone, don't let them suffer in silence. Get them the help that they need. And if they choose not to take it, then that is on them. You've done your part. But don't let no one suffer in silence like this. So, with also the second thing I want to give a disclaimer to is to Cassie. I want to say we are sorry that you had to endure at least this incident because this is the only one that we have seen so far. I don't question it. I'm going to say allegedly to protect my channel, but I don't question if there were other times. Allegedly. But we know for sure one has happened. And from what we saw, which I'm going to show in just a moment, it was pretty rough. Mrs. Best, how do you feel at this moment now with knowing that DV is such a huge thing and it seems to be such a huge topic this month? Because this is not our only instance where we talked about it on my channel and on
Yeah,
yours as well.
I feel like in recent times we're seeing more and more celebrities, probably because of the power of social media, have situations of domestic violence. But I know this is bad to say, but in my opinion, when it comes to physical domestic violence, it's 10 times worse when it's a man doing it to a woman because men are built stronger than us. Me and James could go to the gym and work out the same. If I attack him and he wants to pin my ass down, he can because he's a man and he has that strength. So it's really concerning, even outside of relationships, when men feel the need to hit women, specifically because we are less strong. And then it's also just as bad when women hit men, which does happen in relationships because they are taught they can't hit back because of strength and it's just not as respected. So I don't want to not acknowledge the men who go through it, but this was just like triggering to
Mhm.
watch. It's triggering. It was super triggering. And it shows when people report on things in the media, especially when there is accusations of abuse and or legal things. The best thing to do for those who question it or don't believe a person. I'm talking to the people who didn't believe Cassidy. The best thing to do, I mean, is it it's just baffling to me. I'm not even going to get that deep into it. It's just baffling to me. People need to be quiet and let things play out in court. And when it comes to allegations of abuse, I don't think questioning or victim shaming is ever okay. There are some people who do lie about these things, but she's someone who really, in terms of where her career is, didn't have anything to lose. And then separate from that, she also was not, it doesn't seem like she was financially struggling. So I just wish people didn't victim shame her. And I'm interested in how quiet all the celebrities who are cool with Diddy, like Stevie J was speaking out publicly. He's like radio silent. So I'm just like a little disgusted with.
Oh yeah, but somebody who wasn't so radio silent was Slim Thug, and we're gonna play with what he said in just a moment here.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna go ahead and play the triggering video for you guys. I mean, I'm gonna warn you for people who have not seen it yet. It is very graphic and it is very rough. So I don't own any rights to this content. I'm sharing it on Instagram, and we're gonna watch it. Please, if you're not someone who can stomach this, it's okay to check out. I understand. But I'm gonna go ahead and play it on my channel because I want people to see this. Because we don't need this to go away. We need people to see this. So I'm gonna go and share my screen. And then I'm going to go ahead and play it. So there's Cassie walking away, and here's Diddy walking with a towel on. Oh, and then there's more. So he threw something at her. Yikes.
Just man.
Just, I can't even.
And it looks like she was trying to, like, escape from him while he was in the shower.
Right,
That's the part that makes me so sad. That's the part that makes me so sad, is she really does look like she was just hoping to have a, like, smooth getaway, which you have to think this woman is famous as hell. Anybody who is likely me or James's age in your early 30s was in high school or coming out of high school with me and you and everything that was going on. Her song was everywhere on MySpace. When I tell y'all she's a true MySpace celebrity to us, it's just concerning to see that someone so famous, is willing to, like, when they just run out the door, they put themselves at risk to some extent too because of the fact that they're public figures. So for her to be so scared, I'm just like, obviously this is not the first time that that had happened. And then with how she was leaving and where that took place, it's like God only knows what was going on before that to make her feel the need to even try to leave.
right, exactly. And that's how I feel too. I feel like, oh my gosh, like you just wanted that elevator just to hurry up and come so she can be free. Because it reminds me, her doing this reminds me of that scene of What's Love. Got to do it when Tina Turner finally broke free of Ike Turner, and she was dodging cars on the interstate to get away. Like this is what this reminds me of, and to see him just sling her and kick her like that, it was just like, wow, man. There's no way. There's no way. And to think of how much that's going to traumatize her, and to think of what she's already, doing, even though she's married and has children now. But just think that she is going to be forever scarred because Lord knows how long she's really been going through this. Because this is
She's
in
gonna have to
2016.
relive her trauma too, which sucks. And now her kids someday have the ability to see it too. So that's the thing. I'm like torn. On one end, I'm glad that it came out because these allegations on Diddy and the way that he has been have been coming out since before I was born and before James was born. So it's a hard place to be because you know that that's what it takes for someone as powerful as him to be exposed. But then at the same time, like, as the one who's experienced domestic violence myself, lived in DV shelters growing up, and all of those things, I can't help but to feel her pain. And I know that this is like, if I feel triggered watching it and it didn't happen to me, then I'm sure that the person that did experience it feels 50 to a million times more than any of us could feel. All I could do is like empathize with her and say that I really commend her for walking away from him and then having the courage to take him to court because that's somebody powerful with money. In addition to the money, that was also somebody physically, just playing with her. So it's sad. It's very sad.
It is sad. And you just, if you didn't know her, you would just want to hug her and tell her that, life does go on and it will get better for you. And I think today, because her husband has spoken out publicly several times about this and everything that she has went through, and it seems like she does have a solid foundation in this marriage with him, which is what we want for her. At the end of the day, we felt like anything that shows you love, comfort, and foundation is solid. We want that for you. Anything else you get above that is the blessing you deserve. So I'm just, it's just crazy to me that like watching this my first time. I'm gonna tell y'all like this: my mouth dropped. I could like I believed it, but it's like you could not believe that somebody would do that to another human being, someone who is much younger than you, someone who is still impressionable, somebody who still is trying to find their way, and you're showing them that life when you're in this spotlight can just abuse you. And that's just so crazy to me, even watching this video. And not to think that there have been other instances of him showing such predatory and abusive behavior, and that people want to laugh and poke fun, just like when he had Making the Band. We talked about this on my channel. Go back and watch the other unpopular opinions about Diddy. We talked about how that was a form of abuse to all those people who just wanted their stardoms and thinking that this is the way to get it because you're advertising for MTV to do a show, knowing that being alleged that you just wanted money from the whole situation. So it's just crazy. There's been so many other stories that have come out after this has surfaced that I'm just like, I don't even want to even touch on this anymore because it is just too much. It is too much. But before we get into our thoughts on this, I want to play because as Mrs. Best said, there were several, mostly men, several men who are public figures, rappers more so, that have come out and spoken Diddy's defense, mainly speaking to her Cassie coming out later on versus when it didn't happen. And I just want to tell y'all, there's a reason why we have statute of limitation. There's a reason for that. A lot of people think it's the benefit for someone to get off, but no, it's the benefit for when someone to tell their story when they are ready. That's not something you can just outwardly just say, you know, in a calm sense or in your, most mellow mind. Sometimes it takes years for people to say, yes, this happened to me. I had a friend I've known my entire life and had no idea that she was assaulted by one of her uncles at a young age. I never knew that. And I've known this lady my entire life, never knew a thing. Been around that uncle, going over, never knew. So it's, she didn't tell me till we was in our late 20s. So that's years later. So some people just can't say that. Some people just can't say when they were a victim of something. A lot of it, and then especially in Cassie's case, a lot of it probably there was some shame into that because she knows that people are automatically going to see it for him more than her because he's a public figure. He's huge. He has a big name. But well, y'all got to get out of the mindset just because somebody has a big name and a lot of money doesn't mean they're a great person. It just means they were able to make it better. That's all that means. It means that they were able to make a name for themselves and make a career better for themselves. That's all that that means. It does not mean they're a great person. Does not mean they do well. Does not mean they mean well. Does not mean any of that. So for a lot of these rappers to come out in defense of him, I'm just blown away. So I'm gonna play with Slim Thug because he was the one that irritated me the most.
He did just like I believe he finally apologized. I will give him that for Slim Thug. He was the first to apologize publicly, but it's just what do they call it? Kind of like too little, too late. How
I
can
don't
this
I
is
don't know if
what
it was
black
on a
women mean? Like where we talk about feeling like we're extremely unprotected, especially from and by black men within our own communities, because what is the need to go as far as he did as they about to see when you show it? Like, especially on something that don't got nothing to do with you. It's just baffling.
It is. So I'm gonna play what he said originally, the comment he made about Diddy originally, and then we're gonna play his apology. And I see my girl Shayna underscore MCD is in the comments already. That's my girl. Y'all show her some love. She's a YouTuber here. on YouTube doing it for us. So y'all go ahead and subscribe to her channel. But let's go ahead and listen to his initial argument or his initial comment on the situation.
Back and getting Bill Cosby, coming back and getting Puff. I don't believe in that, man. When it go down, speak on that right then, or it's out of there. It should be null and void. You shouldn't even have no type of nothing. You shouldn't be able to do shit unless you must let the people know what happened immediately. There should be a time limit on this shit. What happened was you got around them up, stand up on love. This is what happened. I'm gonna tell you what always happened, right? You was with a billionaire with all this bread all this time, and then you went followed your heart to with a trainer. That motherfucking apartment got smiled in the face, that lifestyle fell off. Now it's struggle time, the love wearing off, and now you trying to come up with ways to figure out how to get paid. And coming back and getting billed.
You know,
First of all, stay in school, kids.
that's
Literacy
what
is so important. That's all.
parents out there. I want you to teach your children how to have humility. We all should know what that is, and we all should have it. Is he entitled to his opinion? Absolutely. He's entitled to his opinion, good, bad, or indifferent. He's entitled because it's definitely indifferent. Definitely. But we need to teach our children humility. Because, hey, Shayna, thank you for coming, love. We appreciate you. But we need to teach our children how to have humility as people. Because if you're going to speak on something and you're going to say she should have said something from the beginning or there should be a time limit, there is. It's called the statute of limitation. That's why that law exists. But to say that she left a mogul, a billionaire for a trainer, it was like, what did that have to do with anything? What did that have to do with anything? So I'm just like, wow, sir, you lost me on this one. And then you throwing in Bill Cosby and things like that. It's like, regardless of how you feel, they still did these things.
I
This still
personally
happened.
feel like there should be a statute of limitations on severe enough cases of abuse
Hmm.
or sexual assault. I just don't feel like there should be a statute of limitations. I know that's a whole different issue, but like just personally from stuff I've gone through, and then working in psychology and social work, like a lot of people have to bury things or unintentionally bury bad memories and stuff just as to be able to get by on the daily without breaking down or wanting to self-harm, having suicidal ideations and things like that. So it's some people may not be able to say anything or even address it for 25 years after the case. And they should absolutely be able to get justice the same way that person was able to live, whatever normal life or without getting caught for the egregious things that they've done. It's just, this whole case too, and everything that's going on with Cassie and Diddy being so public, really is showing the holes that are in the system when it comes to protecting survivors and victims of abuse and all sorts of things. There's so much wrong.
Hmm. Absolutely. So we're going to listen to Slim Thug's apology now and give our opinion. So let me go ahead and first thank you to the show. Shout out to the Shade Room for all of my details and stories today. We appreciate you dearly for this. We really do. So Slim Thug wrote in the caption, I'll read it because it's blurred out. The Shade Room blurred it out. Damn, Diddy, I tried to ride with the black man who had no charges yet, but I still can't stand behind this. I'll take this L, but I still will ride with my people until I see some sort of proof. I don't believe in blogs or civil suits. Apologies to Cassie and whoever else on the right side of this time. It was the comment, I will still ride with my people until I see some sort of proof. I don't believe in blogs or civil suits. I want people, before we play his video, I want people to get out of that mindset that people are suing people civilly just because they want money. Like, I'm sure that it's going to be hard for people to get work and to get jobs with the trauma, especially being with a powerful person like that who can end careers just by one phone call. So I'm sure that it's not just they're trying to get paid, they're trying to make sure that the abuse that they caused will be compensated in case I need to get some intense therapy because I had an emotional outbreak while I'm driving my car, or I need to be in, a retreat because I can't stop having nightmares of somebody hitting me in my face. Like, that's real life for people. So for people to sit there and say they just want after money, it's, you gotta understand. Unfortunately, this world costs a lot for mental health. It does. It costs a lot. And I can't speak for Cassie because I don't know her and I don't know her person. I'm gonna say allegedly, but she could have needed that money to pay for the restitution of her well-being, which means if she needed to get help, because I'm sure there's trauma there. You can't live life this long and be in that situation for that amount of years. Who knows how long she's been or how many times in a year this happened to her.
He's
But
also been with her career since the beginning and is connected to just about everybody who is well off or well known. So that's a good point because she can't really work with nobody without hearing of him, them asking her about him, or even potentially seeing him. And it's kind of unfortunate because who the hell? Listen, I don't like running into people from high school, let alone running into someone who has harmed me and caused me just every
mhm.
form of pain that you can imagine. So it was actually smart of her to sue, and that's common. A lot of people end up suing when they're unable to get justice from the courts. It's more common than people would know, and it's stupid. Stupid
It's
they even.
simple that people have that thought because if you cause me harm and I can't move on with what I do, which is singing and acting, because I'm afraid that you'll just make one phone call to get me off of something, then yes, I need to make sure that I am okay.
Mhm.
Because y'all, let's keep it real. Cassie has not put out an album in years. She hasn't been in a movie in years. This was all the life that she has known. And now that she's moved on and is in a whole nother life, has children and everything, I'm sure that that plays a part in why she has not been back in music yet or why she has not been acting lately. I'm sure this plays a part because that's a fear. That's why I'm saying, like, him making that comment like that, that pissed me off because it was like, dude, what do you expect her to do?
You should never defend anybody blindly either. I think that's just basic, common sense and honestly self-preservation, especially if you someone that's well known. You don't just bribe for people blindly. Take the time to like look into, what you're defending or do like the rest of the celebrities and say nothing at all. Saying nothing is better than saying something stupid. So that's the
Or
most
just
dangerous
being
part.
completely insensitive because he's a mogul or he's, a black man. And that's just so you have blind loyalty just because of those factors. Because he didn't say he was a good person. He never said any of those things. He's amazing. He does well with the community. He volunteers. He does this for children. He didn't say none of that. He just said because he's a black man.
Yeah. But
And
what
that's
about the black woman?
right.
It's like
It's like disregard that. And don't get me wrong, y'all. I want to stand with black men too, but I got to stand correct as well. I can't just be blind and loyal to a black man because he's black and that's what society thinks we should all stick together. No, we need to start holding each other accountable.
right, Naya. Like
That's
all
what
the
I'm
other
saying.
people mad at these celebrities for being quiet. And they've been saying this since the lawsuit began with him and Cassie. But it's like, look at what happened with Slim Thug and the other ones who spoke out. This is exactly why the bigger celebs ain't saying nothing. Because really you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But at the very least, saying nothing doesn't add to the damage that's already been done. So I don't know. Slim Thug, I don't even remember much about him. All I know is I ain't gonna lie, he's an attractive man. And I remember being like younger and he did that little song with Beyonce, that little check up on it or check on it. Some song. That's all I know about
I
this
don't even
guy.
remember him at all, but that's neither here nor there. But the thing about it is that I don't like when black men especially do this, where you really can't just say, "Man, you was wrong," or just as you said, not say anything at all. But you sit there
Mhm.
and say you don't believe the blogs or you don't believe a civil suit. It was like if it went to court, that means there's some truth into it. Let's keep in mind he settled the case less than 24 hours.
Right. Exactly.
So come on, and then for him, and then when Diddy, I'm gonna say allegedly to protect my channel always, but when he came out and said that there's no truth in what she's saying, it's like, well, then why did you pay her?
And that's also something that science, specifically psychological science, can back up, y'all. They can back
Hmm.
that up. It doesn't. People who are truly not guilty and or innocent, even if they're convicted of a crime they didn't do, get in trouble, reputations are ruined, they will maintain innocence usually. So if the fact that he paid her, as soon as he paid her, and how fast it happened too, I said, oh. And if y'all read that lawsuit, like what she was saying that he did, how he was paying people off to keep us from knowing about stuff, it does make sense that he would pay her so fast because he has a history of doing that. That's what she's accusing him of. So I don't know what the hell's gonna happen next. I want them to open up the case for Kim Porter again because they're alleging all sorts of stuff there. They need to just look into anybody that's accused him of something ever at this
They
point.
will. I think this is the open segue because the fact that this existed and now the whole world has seen it, I think this will open the floodgates of more and more and more. And that's why I tell people you can't think you're this beyond reproach that nothing can touch you. You guys, we can't go in a world like that. It doesn't, the world does not exist in this way. What you do will come back to you. That's why I said it's always great to be a better person, the best of you can be. Because I'm telling you, you do dirt to people, that stuff comes back on you. Karma is real. The universe has a way of showing people karma is real. That's why I'm saying, like, the things that he has done and the things that I've always heard about him and the things that I've seen on TV and everything, it's his time. That's all I can tell you. It's just his time. This is what happens. Now, and
That's
everything is
a
going
shame
to come
too,
out.
because that man got daughters. And it's like, bro, why do it's always the men, it seems, that do the worst of the worst and that claim to like have so much love for their daughters and their mama, which Diddy is always claiming. It's just unfortunate because I know if somebody were to do this to his children, I mean, I would hope that it would upset him. It's just very effed up.
I just want to know, like, for me, what makes you think that that's okay to do in the first place? Like, what happened to you that makes you think that doing that to that young lady was the right thing to do at any moment? Because if she wanted to leave you, why couldn't you just let her go? Why couldn't you just let her go? Hitting her and then dragging her across the floor while you're in a towel. It's like, y'all, if somebody wants to walk out your life, let them. Let them. Because they'll find what they're looking for. I promise you. And sometimes people are much better off out of your presence, but don't sit there and try to force somebody as he did back into your life. That does not help anything. And I'm talking to you men who are crazy possessive and, got a whole bunch of children with women and you thinking you holding that baby over those kids or over those women's heads. And a lot of you women fall for this because y'all think that that's love and that's not, it's control. A lot of y'all women fall for this, and it makes me sad because y'all can't see past it. You just can't see past it. But a lot of women suffer in silence, thinking that control is love, and it is not. Because anybody that loves you will never control you. So we got to start having. And Naya said it best: control is a different level of sickness with those types. It is. It is. It's like an addiction. It's like a drug that they can't get enough of. So yeah, we gonna start having these conversations of mental. Drop my computer. Look at me. But yeah, we're gonna start having these conversations more, guys, because we need to start not so much with Diddy, but just kind of like in general. We need to start talking about these things. We need to start bringing awareness to people. People need to know life is only meant for you to do one thing, and that is to enjoy it. No matter how good or bad it may be, life is there for you to enjoy. And the moment you stop enjoying life is the moment you need to reassess and figure out why you're not enjoying it. So that's the word I'm going to say today. Mrs. Best, do you have anything else you want to add on there?
No, sir.
All right, y'all. So the unpopular opinion, Diddy caught on camera, y'all. This was a tough one to talk about. This was a tough one to see. But y'all be safe when you are with people in your relationships. Make sure they come into the relationships whole. That's all I'm gonna say. Because this is what happens when they're not. So we thank you guys. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the video, tell a friend, come on to the chat with us. We could talk about these things. The next video that we will be doing together, me and Mrs. Best, we will be on her channel for Never Ever Mets, and we will do probably another updates video because a lot has happened in Love and Marriage Huntsville land, and also there was another story I broke out I wanted to cover, and Love and Marriage Huntsville will be here with us on Monday. So there you have it. There it is, you guys. I don't know when Bell Collective. Someone asked me when does Bell Collective come back. I do not know. I know they are filming, and I know they have recast it. So I don't know where Bell Collective is, but I will be picking that up, as well as Love and Marriage Detroit. When that does come back, I will be picking that up as well. I have Real Housewives of Dubai coming back in June, so we will be here for that as well. So y'all, we got a lot coming up in the next couple months. I'm excited. I know Mrs. Best is excited. I'm gonna drag her for Love and Marriage Detroit because I know she don't want to do it with me, but we'll do it together and suffer in silence.
Oh, hell no.
Lord, I only can imagine what that's going to be like. But that's it, y'all. Thank you guys for once again coming through. We appreciate it, and I will see you on my next recap